Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is another earnings special edition where our focus will be on Pidilite Industries Q3 performance. I'll first up spell out some of the key details that all our viewers must know, and then we will get into a chat with the top management of the company too. So in Q3 on a consolidated year-on-year basis, we've seen a revenue improvement of 7.6% at 3,369 odd crore rupees for the company. Operationally, the EBITDA has seen a 7.5% jump at 798 crores. The margins have also come in at steady at 23.7%. Net profit is up by 8.2% as well at 552 odd crore rupees for the company as well. The stock price has definitely reacted on a positive zone right after the earnings. And now we'll speak to the top management. We have with us Mr. Sudhanshu Vats, the Managing Director, Designate at Pidilite Industries, now joining in on the show with us. Warm welcome to you, sir. And thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. Another steady quarter coming in for you, so congratulations on that. Do tell us what stood out for you. Did it come as per your estimates as far as the overall financials are concerned? Where did it work out? Where did it miss out on your expectations? All of those key details in terms of specifics.
Thanks, Sakshi, and so good to hear from you. And I think if you look at our performance in the last quarter, I think we are satisfied with the performance we've delivered. We've delivered strong set of numbers. As you know, we keep talking about that we will, in the long term, continue to deliver profitable double-digit underlying volume growth. And Sakshi, this quarter, we've come in at about 9.7% on standalone underlying volume growth in this period. I think, and we've done this in a way which we are very satisfied with. Let me share with you a few of the builds which we have done. So I think the first question is that we always remain focused on delivering and investing behind our brands and distribution. So this is a quarter where we've done that. Just to give you one example, I think, we've begun the journey in a big way on consumerizing our tile adhesive brand called Roff. And you would have seen a lot of Roff advertisements. You would have also seen the Kabaddi sponsorship which we have done around that. So yes, that piece has done very well for us. Similarly, as far as distribution is concerned, we are in the business of continuously deepening and widening our distribution. And when it comes to building depth in distribution, we look at rural and small towns, and we always continue to grow our flagship stores, which is one way we sort of, define our growth in distribution, which is Pidilite Ki Duniya, PKDs. In the quarter that has gone by, we've added 1,200 Pidilite Ki Duniyas, and we've taken that number well above 16,000 for the quarter three, at the end of quarter three. Similarly, when it comes to width of distribution, we define that by unique build outlets. So how are outlets getting built and what is happening basically in terms of that? In the quarter that has gone by again, we crossed the milestone of 600,000 unique build outlets for quarter three for Pidilite Industries. Along with investments in brands and distribution, we stay razor sharp on driving digital at Pidilite. And our digital journey continues to go from strength to strength. If you look at Pidilite Genie, which is our platform for digitally ordering all our goods, or basically digital sales, if I could use the word, that number is now upward of 35%. So more than a third of our sale now comes from digital. And I think digitally through Genie. Third area where we continue to focus on is investing behind supply chain, making our factories and warehouses future ready. And I just wanted to share one example on that from the quarter which has gone by. We opened our new warehouse, regional distribution center in Ambala. The size of the warehouse is close to about 500,000 square feet. I'm told it is the largest warehouse under single roof in North India. So I think that those are the things which we continue to work on. Innovation is something we have been focused on, and we will continue to develop products both in our consumer segment and bazaar segment for the future. For the quarter that has gone by, again, we've seen premiumization in our big brands, Fevicol, Dr. Fix-It. We've seen some action on our consumer brands, and therefore, these are things which will continue as we go forward.
Fair point. Thank you so much for contextualizing, how the company is really moving forward right there. We'll come down to, taking things one by one now. Especially on the demand factor, I wanted to understand, the quarter gone by has been with a lot of festivals as well. How was the demand during the quarter? Did it match up to the usual festive demand that we usually see for your sector and for your company? And going forward, how is the demand shaping, both rural as well as urban areas? I ask this because there is also this sense of changing of the stance on the outlook that the company has given from optimistic to cautiously optimistic. Now, why has that come in is something that I want to understand.
Sakshi, good question. I think if you look at it, we've delivered nearly double-digit underlying volume growth. We stay committed to long-term delivering profitable double-digit underlying volume growth. As you are aware, Sakshi, and I'm sure you are reporting on and seeing various companies reporting their results, demand indeed on the whole has been a bit soft in India. So I think there is that in somewhat is a given now, and that's the information which is coming from all across. I think what we've done well, and we continue to want to do well in that area, is through our portfolio, through our innovation, and basically also a presence between B2C and B2B, manage growth well. We are hopeful of doing that as we go forward, very confident. But having said that, we've got to be mindful of the softness in demand which exists and some of the things which are there in geopolitical pieces which are playing out. So we stay steadily onto a double-digit profitable underlying volume growth. All we are saying is with the geopolitical disturbances which are continuously there, the dynamism there, the oil price fluctuation, the movement in rupee, and some of these things we are taking into account, and that's why you see that word which is coming.
Fair point. Now, when it comes to the margins, is something I wanted to understand. How are you looking at the margin outlook from here on? You did talk about, your tie-up and your marketing, spends also going up in certain areas. So, an impact of that, how much of that are you anticipating? What is the broad range of margins that we can expect? And also, what is the current raw material, prices outlook that you have?
Yeah, Sakshi, I think, as you would know, I think on your channel, Bharat has always guided our guidance on EBITDA margins has always been that we will endeavor to deliver between 20% to 24% EBITDA margins. Now, this, Sakshi, keeps changing from quarter to quarter, year to year, depending upon the investments which we are making in our brands and depending on what is the raw material scenario for that period. So what I can tell you is that we stay steadfast on this long-term EBITDA margin guidance of 20 to 24%. I think within that, as you also pointed out to our advertising and sales promotion expenditure for quarter three, ANSP, which was at about 3.7%. There again, if you see, depending on what investments we are making in building our brands and so on and so forth, it varies between 3 to 4%. So I think you will see it from quarter to quarter changing in that area. Lastly, on raw material, I think our primary raw material VAM has been benign in this period. We are basically, it's been at about a global US dollar number of 900. Our consumption in quarter three has also been that. In the short to medium term, we see it remaining benign. And therefore, so to that extent, if I could sum this piece up, our long-term guidance of 20 to 24% EBITDA margin stands. We are currently at the slightly higher end of that guidance, but we will continue to invest for growth. In India, growth, Sakshi, is very, very important. And I think we will stay steadfast on trying to deliver double-digit underlying volume growth and a profitable volume.
Okay. So also just one more point that, there is this entire buzz about rising competition, more and more players entering into the paint space, waterproofing space as well. How are you assessing the current scenario? Does it alter your strategies to tackle the competition that is on the rise? Are you going to be keeping steady with your own pace of going forward into this segment? What is your own outlook here?
So good question again, Sakshi, and I think this is a question which gets very often asked to us. So I think when it comes to waterproofing, Sakshi, I think the biggest job to be done is market development. Because as I speak to you, 4 out of 10 Indians only do waterproofing. And the 4 that do waterproofing arguably are not waterproofing all their areas and maybe not waterproofing adequately. So I think what we will stay steadfast on this is that we will continue to invest behind our waterproofing brand. So when it comes to waterproofing, it is Dr. Fix-It, actually. And you have to ask the expert, and that's what Dr. Fix-It. So we will remain steadfast in building the brand. We will do a lot of work in ensuring that we are developing the applicators, improving the experience and the quality of waterproofing that we do for the customers in India. I think that will be our endeavor. And the way we measure how we are progressing on this is through market development and growth. And Dr. Fix-It or waterproofing is a growth category for us. We have maintained that the growth categories should deliver between 2 to 4 2 to 4x of real GDP. I can share with you that in the quarter that has gone by, we've delivered mid-teens waterproofing growth. So we are satisfied with that growth. That will be over 2%, 2 times, 2x of the real GDP numbers, which we all are seeing. So I think we are here to basically develop this market, be the expert in the market, and let Dr. Fix-It do the work for you.
Fair point right there as well. There is so many factors that we can continue to discuss, but there is this paucity of time. And because I'll have to let you go, I have to ask you just one last question, and that's not related to the earnings fine print, but the overall industry and what the big ask is from the upcoming budget. We are just days away from 1st of February. What does the industry at large, and what would you really expect from the finance minister? Any big bang announcements that are needed, just like how you pointed out that there is an overall softness in demand that could push up demand. Is that on top of the mind right now?
Yeah, Sakshi, I think as far as budget is concerned, I think for the industry and for Pidilite, I think there are a couple of points, I think, which I would urge the finance minister to consider. I think first and foremost is to make sure that there is a little bit more money in the hand of Indian consumer. I think so that's important, Sakshi. I think, and that will help spur the demand. And I think so giving a bit more, leaving more money in the hand of the consumer, so consumption goes up and therefore demand rises. I think the second area, which is specific to our industry and to Pidilite, and I feel that it also has an implication for all industries, is continued efforts in infrastructure development. This government has been focused on infrastructure, but can we accelerate investments behind infrastructure? And can we also ensure that the execution of these projects and the amount of money which is promised is actually getting deployed and we are delivering on timelines of the project? So therefore, two quick points, more money in the hands of the consumer and accelerating infrastructure development with timely implementation.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Vats, for speaking to us today on Business Today Television, on your fine print, on the outlook going forward, as well as those budget expectations. We look to hear from you once the budget is presented as well, to see how things stand then. And of course, look forward to our interactions on a quarterly basis too. Many thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Thanks, Sakshi. Thank you.
All right, viewers, we wrap it up at that, the special conversation with Pidilite. And I hope this has given you great insights on how the company is really looking to move forward right there with the vision and the outlook standing as well. So let's look at how things move forward. Stay tuned on to Business Today Television. Throughout the course of the day, we'll keep on getting you earnings insights as well as all things moving from Davos.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.